When I say I hold my plans loosely, that for me means that I may plan to do certain things, but then I may find something else that I enjoy and I want to stay there longer, or maybe there's a road closure or weather's not going to permit me to see a particular area. So I just, these are, I plan for ideas, not rigid itinerary. So I'm very open to flexibility. After I plan my road trip based on what all I want to see, for some people it's museums, and so they maybe really love history, and so they search for museums along their path. For me, I like to see trolls. I think they're fun and whimsical. So after I've planned my route, I search and see if there's any trolls in the area. And sometimes a troll might be an hour away, but it's a really fun one that I want to see. So I will include that in my route. Um, I also look for um, waterfalls and free things to do, quirky things to do. In California, they have pine cones that are like massive. So I'm really, really hoping to go into some areas that have some of those large pine cones. I'd like to find one. If I could find a few, that'd be great. But I also love the beach, and so I look for beaches that have sea glass or beaches that have different colored sand, like some sands in some beaches in Oregon have black sand, and so that'd be fun. And I used to collect sand from all the different vacations I go to, and then I put them in something with a few of the treasures I found on that beach, whether it's driftwood or shells, coral. So that's a lot of fun. Um, I am going to be going to my sister's house, and I want to make sure that I'm going to arrive in her area or be in her area on a Sunday so I can go to church with her. So, and then also I want to camp at some national parks. So I need an idea of when I'm going to be there. So I have to plan in order to have an idea of when to reserve a place to camp. What else? After I decide my route, I Google where Walmarts are along the route, where Cracker Barrels are. Those are places I'll sleep overnight sometimes. I also Google Costco's along my route so I can fill up on gas cheaper. I plan Trader Joe's or Aldi. I like to get my groceries there. I plan, I kind of keep a track of entrance fees and like what my spending is to get into different activities, so I can kind of keep an idea of the total cost for entertainment. I do the same with my mileage for each day. I don't want to drive over 5 hours typically each day. And there's many times I won't be driving more than just a couple miles. But by doing so, I can kind of get a total of what my mileage might be for the trip. Then I can figure out what the gas prices would be. I'm going to show you. I also plan what meals I can cook and then what I need for that meal and how I will prepare that meal. Like what things do I need to prepare? A spatula, tongs, and then what will I use for a cooking source? So I know what things I would use frequently, and I want to make sure I pack those. Like a one burner or butane little gas stove. I also plan what kind of passes I need. Like I have an America the Beautiful pass. When you're 62 years old, you can get one for $80, and it's a lifetime pass for seniors. You can also do individual, but that adds up. So the $80 for a lifetime pass is just a great deal. California, they have passes that you have to have in order to go to parks. They have one that's called the Explorer Pass, and that lets you into 134 state parks. And they have a Golden Poppy Pass and a Senior Golden Bear Pass. That's only $20, but they only let you enter during their non-peak seasons. In Canada, I'll need to get a annual Parks Canadian Discovery Pass, and that's $64 annually for senior, but it lets you get into 80 different places. All right, now I'm going to show you what my days look like on word processing. So, see if I can do that. Okay, so at the top I bold the date and also the day of the week. The day of the week because I always lose track of what day it is going to be when I'm on vacation. So here's just an idea. I'm going to drive from Ames, this is the beginning of my trip, from Ames to Menlo because I want to see the Freedom Rock there. I go every year to see it. He repaints it every Memorial Day. It's an hour and 20 minutes, and it's 82 miles from my home to the Freedom Rock. And then from there, I'll go to see a troll in Omaha. It's not one of the Danfold trolls, but it's really cute. It's under the Bob Carey pedestrian bridge. So the distance there is 95 miles, and it takes like an hour and a half to go there. In parentheses, I put 12:30-ish. It's just giving me an idea. Like I said, I'm not rigid at all. I don't follow an itinerary. It's just giving me an idea so I can break down, all right, what time of day, how much time it's going to take me. So there's from the Troll to the Archway in Kearney, Nebraska, it's almost 3 hours, 187 miles. So I'm going to have a full day that particular day. At that archway, there's Great Plain River Museum. I've gone to that place before, but I've never paid and gone into the museum portion. But I'm going to do that on this trip. So I think that's a reasonable day. I'll finish around 5:30 in the evening. So that's day one. I keep a track of where I'm going to stay each night, just kind of planning, and that may change, but it's just an idea. My total driving for that particular day is 5.5 to 6 hours, and I'll have traveled 364 miles, which that is doable to me. A different day along my path is going to Colorado, and it's going to be from Conifer to Pikes Peak. And then this is a really full day. I'm going to go to Pikes Peak and do the Cog Railroad. Then I want to go see a troll at Gross Mountain Trailhead. And then I'm going to Colorado Springs because that's where I plan to stay overnight at a Cracker Barrel. Again, I do my total miles for the day, my expenses for the day, and where I'm staying for overnight. Another day, I'm going to Durango, and I want to take the Silverton train. It goes from Durango to Silverton and then back, and I put in the cost, and then just a little information about it, and what people recommend for where to sit. And many people recommend bringing snacks because the food is not very good and it's expensive on the train, so to bring your own is recommended. And just more information about the train and about Silverton, things to do when you're in Silverton. And I'm not a huge ice cream person, but several people recommended this cream bean berry ice cream, so I might try it. It's there. I don't know if I will or not, but it's there if I want to. There's a free trolley and street on 11th Street, and there's live music. That might be fun. On another day, I'm going to be in Astoria, and it's just different things I can do there. Different things about Astoria. And here there's lots of people that recommend this old boat called the Bow Picker, and everybody raves about their fish. So I put on there, is there a gluten-free option? It might be. I thought this would be fun, going up in one of these towers. It's 164 steps to go up, but they have a great view, and they sell these wooden gliders for $1 that you can launch off the tower. So that'd be fun. Says where there's movies that were at this particular site filmed. So it's just ideas of things I can do. Let's see if I have another one. I don't. Costs. Part of my budgeting is I add up those daily miles, and then I add up the expenses for as far as entertainment. I'm figuring I'm going to need an oil change along my way, and the mileage, I'm going to base it on 13,000 to 15,000 miles. Gas prices, I figured for the different states what that costs. And there's a great app on, you can YouTube this fuel calculation, and I'm figuring if I went 13,000 miles, my van gets 21 miles per gallon, and I'm basing my gas prices on $5 a gallon. It's a little high, but I'd rather be high on my estimates. And it said for me, based on that information that you put in, it'll require 619 gallons of gas, and the fuel cost will be $3,000. So that's just an idea, and I'll base that on my entire trip, and I will budget more than that just to be safe, because when you say you're going to go from point A to point B, a lot of times you check out lots of points between that. So I know my mileage will actually end up being a lot more than what I have written out. And at the end of as I go along, I'm going to kind of keep track of how many states I've gone to, how many national parks, how many whales I saw, how many waterfalls, list the different wild animals I saw, how many churches I visited. I have a ministry of putting up banners that point people to Christ. So I'm going to try to get a banner up in each state, somebody that's willing to put one in their yard. I will donate the banner if they're willing to put it up. And I just, so many people are discouraged these days, or depressed even, and there's been so many suicides that I put up banners trying to encourage people and point them to the source of hope. And then I have magnets that I put on my vehicle for the same purpose, and I will give those out along my road trip. How many ferries I went on to, and some height challenges. I've become scared of heights, so I'm challenging myself to a few little expeditions that will challenge my height. And some of them I may crawl across. I mean, there's one that's the floor is glass, and you're up on a mountain, and there's a valley below you, and it's a glass that you're walking on, which is frightening to me when you are scared of heights. So I'm going to challenge myself to go on that. And like I said, I may have to crawl, but I'm going to try to do it. And there's another one that's a treetop canopy walk. So you walk clear up high among the canopy of the trees. I think that would be awesome. I hope I'm able to do that. How many aquariums? I'm going to try to dip my toes in all the bodies of water. We did that for the Great Lakes. We did all 5. That was fun. Epic bridges. overcame fears or real scary moments. How many of those were there? Highlights, trains, trolls, conversations about Jesus with people that were meaningful. I'll kind of document some of the challenges that I've overcome along the way. This would be how many miles. What would I do differently, and what I didn't need to pack. That will be a lengthy list, I'm sure, because I am an overpacker. But just traveling in my van, I'm going to have to keep going through my things over and over again to narrow down, do I really need this? Things I learned along the way and people I met that had a meaningful conversation or really connected. So that's just part of my planning.